Okay, a question from a viewer. They were asking me about the best possible images I've ever gotten from the Nibiru system. Okay, from a telescope, this is an image from a telescope. Um, I got the images of the Nibiru system right here by the sun, on the west side of the sun, and right here you can barely see it right there. I got what is being called the striped planet. So let's be clear about that. I do not know if it is a planet or a moon in the Nibiru system. I just know that people are calling it the striped planet because it appears to have stripes in it. But off a telescope, that is the best image I've ever gotten. But off a satellite feed from NASA, I got better images. But before we go to that satellite feed, let's be clear. This is from a satellite feed from the ISS, and if you don't know what the ISS is, it's the International Space Station. It's from their own feed. What you're going to see is from a previous video I did where we were discussing the theories that other people have about our government putting some kind of giant shield in the sky to block the sun's UV light, ultraviolet light, etc., etc. And we were discussing the theory about that. And while I was speaking about it, I turned on the ISS and filmed um, what they were showing. And in this image, before I even show you, let's talk about this. Before I even show you, you will see the light reflecting off one of the planets or the moons, or several planets or the moons of the Nibiru system, out into space, across space, across the International Space Station. In the far left-hand corner, you will also see, and let's be clear on this, you will see round objects deep in space. Am I saying to you that those are the Nibiru system captured off the ISS, and those are the planets and the moons? I do not know. I do not know if they are orbs. As people who have been following my YouTube channel know, that we capture orbs out into space. We see them both in the daylight. We also see them at night. We've discussed the Nibiru's gold, which is monoatomic gold, powdered gold that they were putting in their atmosphere to help shield them from the powerful sun and the heat, the radiation of our sun when they make their trip, a long elliptical orbit around our sun. Um, so I don't know if these are orbs you're going to see out in space, or if these are the actual planets and moons of the Nibiru system. So before y'all even ask me, before you even ask, let's just make that clear, because I do not know. Um, if if they are truly the planets and the moons of the Nibiru system, they are freaking huge. They are far larger than I ever thought they are. And remember, we've already had the discussion about what would happen if a planet came beside the Earth. What consequences that would have for us on Earth. So remember, and never ever forget, so you will never be confused or deceived by anyone. The Nibiru system, this system right here, travels between the space of Mars and Jupiter. It never, ever, ever leaves its orbit. It has been orbiting in that space for millions and millions and millions and millions of years. It has been traveling in that space, it is traveling now, and it will continue to travel in that space. It has a 3,600-year orbit around our sun. That space between Mars and Jupiter makes up 342,012,346 miles. So that is a tremendous amount of space out here, okay, that it orbits. And it never, ever, ever leaves its orbit. It always stays in its neighborhood. We stay in ours. Our solar system is a very delicate balance. So if anybody sees this YouTube video that I'm about to post and says, okay, I saw proof on her channel that she showed us from a satellite that was taken from the ISS that showed the planets and the moons right beside Earth, I'm going to call bullshit on that, because that's not what I'm showing you. I'm showing you satellite images from the ISS, and when you're looking at it, you'll see the light, the reflection, you'll see the orbs, and in the far left-hand corner, you will see round objects. And I do not know if those round objects are the planets and the moons of the Nibiru system, or they are orbs that are cast out at night. Because remember, we have discussed this many times about how a monatomic gold, which is what the powdered gold they were putting in their atmosphere, how it illuminates, how it is translucent, how it is bright, how it is glowing. So before y'all even ask me, before you even jump to a lot of conclusions, and I'm kind of afraid to even show it to you, but I do want to give you the information. Again, not there are no planets or moons beside our Earth. They are not beside our Earth. Our Earth will be destroyed if that happened. So again, we're going to resume this YouTube video that I posted earlier. I posted it back on May the 25th. It's when we were all learning about the system, and we're joining this video at a part in the conversation where people are speculating, and I'm repeating what they're speculating, that they're putting something to block the sunlight, to curve the heat, curve the radiation given off by the sun from these systems. Now, before we even start, you can barely see little dots back here. Because what is happening in this picture, this is the ISS, this is our Earth, and the sun is beginning to rise because the ISS is moving around the Earth toward the position where the sun is located. So that's why the light is starting to come up over the Earth, and the light is casting the light from the Nibiru system back over the ISS, the International Space Station, which is right here. But those round objects, whether they be moons or planets or orbs that we can see in the nighttime sky in deep space, are right over here. So we're going to join this video, and we're going to listen, and we're going to look. And a lucky violet one, more of a purple violet and purple, fading into this colorful thing here. What would we call this? I see oranges in it. I see yellows in it. I see a dark burnt orange. See a light orange. See yellow back here. This is part of the International Space Station. These colors are radiating out from space toward the space station. Okay, notice that NASA's not sending these colors out into space. They're coming in from space toward the International Space Station. But what the hell is that? What the hell is that? Actually, let's turn this on. It's going to go real slow because it's NASA. Um, their stuff always goes real slow. But what do you think that is? Lots of theories out there. Some people say, and I'm repeating what they say, is that NASA has put up some kind of shield to block the sunlight and to block what we're seeing out in space. When I first heard that, I thought that was the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life. I really did. And then I had seen the blue orbs in the Jamesville telescopes. The Jamesville telescopes are in New York. And then all of a sudden, two green diamonds started to appear out on the telescopes in Alaska. And when I saw that, I did not know what to make of that. I did say to myself, it isn't normal for two green diamonds to be floating out in our sky. That's not normal. That's not usual. That has to be some kind of man-made stuff, something projected into our skies. But then came the question of why in the world would they do that? And why in the world would they project it into the sky during the daytime where everybody can see it? Why would they do that? It made no sense. Then the theory is, well, they were hiding something. Then it goes back to, well, it's the daytime. Well, there's very little to see in the daytime. At nighttime with a telescope, you can see a lot at nighttime with a telescope. But in daytime, because of the sun rays, the sun being so bright, it blocks out stars and planets. You can barely see them during the day. It's really rare. It's a big astronomical alignment where you could see another planet, but it would be a huge planet that would be illuminated out in the sky in the daytime. One example would be Jupiter. That would be a rare event. It's not like every day you're going to walk outside and look up in the daytime sky and see Jupiter. That ain't going to happen. So why would they put two green diamonds up in the sky in the daytime? Makes no damn sense to me. Cannot explain that. Have no theories about that. Other than, of course, it has to be man-made. I don't believe extraterrestrials are doing it. I don't believe other countries are doing it. It has to be our country doing it. I don't know what they would do it. Then again, look at the weird shit that the ISS is picking up. Now this is coming from space. Look at all coming from space. Anyway, that's not my camera, it's NASA's camera. There goes it there. Look at all the strange things that they're picking up. These lights. And why is it radiating on the station? And notice the camera just moved. And that's not my camera. That was NASA's camera. Something out in space is affecting their equipment. Could it be the things that are reflecting these light sources? And what are these light sources? Well, again, let's do a quick review. I'm going to say it over and over again until I drill it to heads. What was coming behind the sun on May the 2nd? That was Venus. It was coming out from behind the sun around the 5 o'clock position, and it's kind of moved into the 4 o'clock position now, but around there, general area. Okay, we know that. We know the Pleiades was out in deep space, was around the 3 o'clock position. But it's out in deep space. Pleiades, hydrogen stars, radiate blue. No other colors but blue. What colors are you seeing there? I'm seeing some blues. I'm seeing some reds, I'm seeing purples, and I'm seeing an orange that I can explain. I'm seeing something that is radiating out from our sun. It's over here, about eyes. This is our sun. See the sun's rays about to rise. Sun's rays reflecting something right over our space station. And notice this. Can you see this? Oh, look! It's my red dot! And it's got another dot beside it. And here's a blue dot right here. And there's another dot over here. And there's another dot over here. And beams of light are coming from this area. What could possibly be near our sun? Oh, look at it, just messed up the camera again. Again, that's not my camera, that's NASA's camera. Let's mess up NASA's camera. Oh, look, it's messing up again. How interesting. Something must be near the sun that's aggravating the sun. What can be near the sun that would aggravate the sun? Could it be some kind of foreign body? Its gravitational pull on our sun? That's plausible. Showed you pictures of some foreign bodies that weren't supposed to be there, aren't supposed to exist, but yet are there. You saw them on the satellite, you saw them on the telescopes from all over the world, and now you're looking at NASA's satellite and seeing some weird shit on NASA's own satellite. Stuff that's not supposed to be up there. That's NASA's camera messing up mine. You got our strange red orb. Okay, enough of that. Enough of that. Let's stop that. Turn that off. Yeah. And again, those planets and moons of the Nibiru system travel between Mars and Jupiter. So, nowhere near Earth. Nowhere near Earth, not coming near Earth. They are making their orbit around the sun. They do cause friction because they are incredibly large. And they're moving around our sun, making their way on their long elliptical orbit. Um, I've said it over and over and over again. I can't tell you how many times I've said it. It's getting so tired of repeating it. But yeah, someone asked for some kind of proof that's not from a telescope, that's from a satellite. So right there from the ISS satellite images. And again, am I saying that those are the planets and the moons of the Nibiru system that you saw in that corner? I don't know if they are or if they are reflections, which are orbs. I do not know. I was paying attention to where the light source was coming from. And if you notice, some of those were not giving off any kind of light source. They were being shined upon by the sun that was rising in the morning. I'm going to end this little quick video tutorial real quick because for some reason I'm having problems with my computer and I want to upload it real quick because someone asked me about that. After my last video rant or post, whatever you want to call it, I've been receiving lots of questions and lots of hate email. And again, if I offended your religious beliefs, I am sorry. You're entitled to your religious beliefs, but then again, so am I. So I did not mean to offend you. Actually, as I said over and over again, I didn't want to really bring religion into these video tutorials. I just wanted to keep it on the scientific level. But I was specifically asked um, about the telescopes and about satellites. Oh, and I was also asked about posting other people's pictures. Let's talk about that real quick before I end this. I've said this before, so I'll say it again. The reason why I don't use other people's photographs is because they can be easily photoshopped. I have told you before, I'm a legal assistant, I'm a farmer, I'm a fine artist, and I'm also a photographer. So I know that pictures can be easily manipulated. If you notice on my screen top here, I've got Adobe Photoshop. I use it myself, but that's why I specifically use pictures from public telescopes. Um, this is from the allskycam.com website, which are telescopes and observatories from all over the world. And the specific reason why I do that is if you look in the corner up here, you will see a date and a time. Unfortunately, some of my programs are covering that, but that does say June 3rd. It says 10:18 and 33 seconds. If, by chance, someone else, let's say in another country, let's just pick a country, Brazil. Somebody is in Brazil. They are looking at this telescope on this day at that time at 10:18 and 33 seconds, and they take the same exact image capture that I have got right here on my screen and say, for some reason, the two of us have come together. We lay our photographs side by side. They would be exactly the same. Exactly the same. Um, that's the reason I like the all Skycam telescopes and observatories from all over the world, because they can't be. It it would be difficult for someone to deceive other people by photoshopping or doing some kind of alterations to the image, because it can be easily verified. So that is why I don't use other people's pictures. I do enjoy when you send me pictures so I can look at it, so I can study what you're studying. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't post other people's pictures in my video tutorials. I only use NASA's websites. I use the International Space Station. I use Soho. I use the allskycam.com telescopes from observatories all over the world, so they can be verified. Um, I use public access stuff because other people are using it too, and there's less chance of deception. If you get mad at me, there's a gentleman now who's sending me hate email after hate email after hate email, who wants me to debate him because I don't use other people's photographs. Um, Dude, if you want to post your own personal photographs on your own YouTube a website and do video tutorials, please do. Please do. But don't get pissed off at me because I don't want to use your photos on my YouTube channel. Again, I can't explain it any more clearly than that, other than the reason why I use public telescopes, public observatories, NASA's own imaging, NASA's own satellites, is because it can be verified. There's less chance of deception. Am I saying that all people who take photographs of the excuse me, of the orbs out here in the sky or pictures that look like planets right near the Earth are lying and deceiving and blah, blah, blah. No. I'm saying those orbs are in our sky. They're cast out into space. You saw it on the ISS, the light cast out into space, radiating over the ISS. And let me also add this, because the crazy guy who wanted to debate me was talking about atmosphere. Okay, on Earth, in our sky, we have atmosphere. This is atmosphere. But out in space, there's not atmosphere. There's not weather. There's no weather out in space. So if you want to get mad and say that's ice crystals out in space and it has everything to do with weather conditions, there's no weather in space. So again, this is another reason why I don't want to debate you. So sorry, but you don't have the IQ for me to debate you because you don't understand that out into deep space there is no weather. Um, and you're mad at me because I won't use your photographs on my YouTube channel. um, Post your own. You're entitled to your own opinion. You're entitled to post your own work. Go for it, dude, but don't keep sending me repetitive hate email. You've sent me 3 in 10 minutes. Dude, get a life. Better yet, open a science book. If you don't want to do that, Google it. Google, is there weather in space? You will read about solar storms, but solar storms are not weather. Solar storms, the sun gives off energy. This energy can break off from our sun, can be cast out into our sun, and this energy affects our magnetosphere. So if you hear about a solar storm, yeah, that's what it is. It doesn't mean that the space has weather. So don't send me any more email about that. There's no weather in space. It doesn't rain in space. It doesn't snow in space. No. In our atmosphere, we have weather, um, but not in space. The next thing I want to show you, oh, before we go, we had an interesting picture. Let me bring it up. Let's see if I can find it real quick. This was from Soho. I think it was yesterday morning, early yesterday morning. Let me see if I can find that for you. Very interesting picture, and somebody asked me a question about it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Probably down at the bottom, knowing me. So many pictures. Maybe I stick it in here. Let's see. But they were asking me about Soho C2. Is this it? This might be it. Or this might have been something I took yesterday. Let's open it up. On Soho 2, we got pictures, part of the Nibiru system, as the sun had passed. No, that isn't it. That isn't it. That wasn't the one. Let's go to, well, it's probably on here. No. Well, where did I put it? Where did I put it? I thought I had put it in here. I've got way too many pictures. I've got to clean out this computer system. I really, really do. Um, hmm. Oh, here it is, right here. Soho 2. I thought I put it in there. Going senile in my old age. What can I say? This right here, this little dot, this is a star. We know it's there. It's supposed to be there. But this, and this is part of the Nibiru system. The question was this and this and this over here and this down here part of the Nibiru system? I don't know. I If I knew, I would tell you, but I don't know. This image was taken off Soho C2. It was taken in 1436, which is military time. It would be 2:36 in the afternoon. Uh, what I was looking at, besides these four dots, which I was paying attention to, and in the morning time, it's the best time to go to the telescopes, the observatories, whichever one you choose. In the morning, when the sun is rising, look toward the west of the sun, and you get the best pictures. As the sun moves in the sky, it goes behind the sun, and you'll see it on the east side of the sun. Excuse me, in the afternoon, especially the late afternoon. This was taken at 2:36. Is that correct? Yes, 2:36 in the afternoon, which is why it's to the east of the sun. But this one right here is a known star. So that one is not part of the Nibiru system. But this, and this, and this, according to NASA, is not supposed to be there. This and this, I do not know if it's a planet or a moon of the Nibiru system. I know it's very large in this, but I do not know. What we were looking at are the other tiny little dots. And I hope that you can see those tiny little dots, because that's part of the debris field. That's part of the asteroids, and well, unfortunately, the meteors would be way too tiny for you to see. And someone had a question about that. I said that on a telescope, a meteor would be like a grain of sand. It would be so tiny. It would be very, very hard to see. And they didn't understand that. I don't know how else to explain that to you. It would be very, very small. So it would be very, very difficult to see. An asteroid, especially a large one, would be easier to see. Now, are these tiny little dots asteroids that are around our sun? Well, we know from the observatory nothing is supposed to be around our sun at this time except this star right here. Venus is way over here. It's not even pictured in this because it's way, way, way over to the east of the sun. Venus is supposed to be in the sky. That's Venus' position right now as of June the 21st. So Venus is in the sky. It's to the east of our sun, but it's not even pictured here because it's way, way, way over here. But according to NASA, this, and all of this is not supposed to be near our sun. But yet we're looking at a Soho C2 image, and we're seeing things around our sun. We're seeing little tiny dots, and we're seeing big dots. We're seeing big objects. But it's the little tiny dots, that debris field, that I'm paying attention to. So, yeah, that was the question. Again, I'm sorry I can't answer why it's very difficult to see meteors in a telescope, other than they're so tiny you wouldn't notice them. Asteroids, on the other hand, especially the big ones, you would notice them. They're big. So, yeah. This is off Soho 2. Again, this was taken June the 20th, 2016. This is military time, 14:36, which would be 2:30 in the afternoon. And there it is. So, again, remember, in the morning, look in the telescopes toward the west of the sun. As the sun moves across the sky, look toward the east in the afternoon, especially late afternoon. The orbs are heating up. Oh, another email from some somebody, and I can't remember their name. He was one of the people that was, I don't know if he was a troll or he was serious. He said that I said that the telescopes that I'm using pick up infrared, UV, and he said something else. Telescopes don't pick up heat signatures. I never said the telescopes are registering heat signatures. I said the orbs give off heat. There's a different thing there. Okay? I hope you understand that. A telescope doesn't tell you how hot something is. Like when you're looking at a telescope, a picture of the sun, it's not going to tell you how hot the sun is. It doesn't do that. So I never said that the telescopes are telling you how hot the orb is or how hot the sun is. I said the orbs give off heat. That's a different thing. Um, so if you're going to get mad at me for something I said, make sure you're paying attention to what I'm actually saying. So I'm going to say it one more time so everybody understands. The telescopes don't give off heat signatures. Okay, it doesn't measure the heat of the sun. It doesn't measure the heat of the earth. How a Nibiru researcher researches the temperature that it's giving off, unfortunately, you have to go to other sources. You have to go to um, channels or websites that are specifically designed to measure temperature, to measure the temperature of the sun, to measure the temperature of the air, etc., etc. But telescopes will not give you that information. So, so again, I never said that the telescopes are giving off UV, infrared, uh, temperature readings. I never said that. I said the sun gives off heat. The orbs are giving off heat. But they're not telling you, the telescopes will never tell you the temperature. You're going to have to go to another source for that. The telescopes are only showing you what you see in the sky. And this is not lens flare. Another, I don't know if it was a troll or somebody else, kept saying, it's lens flare, it's lens flare. Um, no, no, it's not lens flare. I just showed you pictures from the ISS. Again, there's no atmosphere in space. There's no weather in space. It doesn't rain and it doesn't snow. There's no there's no weather in space. So no, it's not a lens flare because of weather conditions. This is not a lens flare. No, it is an orb cast out into the sky. Everybody who visits my channel, let's repeat the chant. Actually, let's get to a better picture to repeat the chant. Here we go. The light from the sun hits one of the planets and the moons of the Nibiru system, casting out light out into the sky, out into space, and sometimes down to Earth. This is not a physical object. This is not a planet or a moon. This is a reflection of a planet or a moon that is located in the Nibiru system that travels in space between Mars and Jupiter. That space is approximately 342,012,346 miles. It is very, very far away. But the sun's light hits the reflective properties of the planets and the moons of the Nibiru system and casts out light. These orbs are reflections. They are reflections. They are not lens flare. They are reflections because of the properties, especially the monatomic gold, the powdered gold. The entire reason the Anunnaki came to Earth was to get the gold, to powder the gold, to turn it into monoatomic gold, to put it up in their atmosphere, to repair the hole in their ozone layer because their air was getting thinner. But that monatomic gold is so translucent, so reflective, it glows. And that is why that there are planets, especially the one I call the red dot, that are so reflective, the light from the sun shines on them and casts out light into our sky, out into space, and down to Earth. It seems like I have to chant that every single video tutorial I do because people just don't seem to understand that. Um, Study monatomic gold. It is the entire reason the Anunnaki came to Earth to begin with, was to get the gold. Okay, you have to study the science behind the whole thing if you're going to try to understand it. So, so, also, I was asked, why don't I just come out and say that the red dot is Nibiru? The reason why is I don't know that. Why should I say something that I don't know is true or correct? That I, I'm not that kind of person. I try to stick to the science, to the facts. Okay, I'm going to repeat exactly what was written down in an ancient Sumerian text. Exactly what the Anunnaki said about themselves. They said, a great planet, reddish in radiance, around the sun an elongated circuit Nibiru makes. So we know that they live on a planet, not on a red dwarf, not on a brown dwarf. They know the difference between a star and a planet. They said they lived on a planet. They said it is reddish in nature. Excuse me, they said it is reddish in radiance. That red dot is red. It is red. I don't deny that the red dot is red. But I do not know for a fact that that is Nibiru. And that is why I call it the red dot. I know in your email you got kind of mad at me a little bit, but you did it in a real nice way, which I kind of appreciated. But how my mind works, if I don't know that something is true or correct, I'm not going to say it's so. I can say I have a theory that this red dot could possibly be Nibiru. I can say that, but I cannot say for a fact that I know 100% that that red dot is Nibiru. Um, if that makes you uncomfortable or angry, I'm sorry. Your mind might work differently than mine, but for me, if I don't know it's true or correct, I don't say it. That's why I always call it the red dot. Um, Sorry, that's just me. Um, but yeah, that's why I call it the red dot, because to me, it's a red dot, and I don't know if that's a planet. I don't know if it's a moon. I don't know if it's Nibiru. I just know it's there. um, So anyway, folks, this is a very quick video tutorial. Again, studying the debris field. Um, as I said before, when the Bureau system leaves our neck of the neighborhood in our solar system, the debris field that is around the system will be leaving with Nibiru and the entire system. That didn't make sense. Let me say that again. The asteroids and meteors will be pulled in to the Nibiru system's gravitational force. And when it leaves our neighborhood, our neck of the woods, it will take those asteroids and meteors that is closest to it out with it when it leaves. But these asteroids and meteors out here that is not around the Nibiru system itself, that is not being attracted by its gravitational pull, those asteroids and meteors have to go somewhere. We've discussed it, we've talked about it. That's what I'm studying now. I'm also interested in the heat signatures given off the orbs and given off the sun. So if any of y'all know any special place, any website or whatever, where I can get detailed information of temperature change, especially, let me explain to you what I'm doing. When I'm looking at the telescopes, you know that I do it by time stamped. This one right here is time stamped 1036. The next series of picture would be 1041. What I'm looking at as far as temperature is when you see the orb in the sky, I want to know what the temperature at this place, this observatory is YJOB Observatory in Taiwan. I want to know what the temperature is when the orb is in the sky, because I know that that orb is giving off heat. So I want to find out what the temperature is in the sky. Now let's pretend for a moment, just pretend, this big giant cloud came and covered that orb. And let's say it covered that orb for 20 minutes. I want to know if the temperature dropped in that 20 minutes or if the temperature stayed the same. Let's play another game of what if. Let's pretend that cloud came down and covered that orb for the rest of the day. I want to know what the temperature was when the orb was in the sky and it was visible. And then I want to know what the temperature was in the sky when that cloud came and covered that orb for the rest of the day. I want to know what the temperature fluctuation was. That's another thing that I'm studying. Um, and I encourage you, other Nibiru researchers, to do the same thing. Try to calculate the different temperature fluctuations, because that is important. And again, we're going to be doing another tutorial a little bit later on the asteroid field. But I just wanted to put this quick video together because I'm getting so much email and I'm getting really slammed for the rant that of my last video post, but I just had to get it out there. And I'm over that, and yeah. But for now on, we're just going to stick to the science. We're just going to stick to what the Anunnaki said about themselves. Okay, we're only going to stick to pre-Nubian, Sumerian texts. We'll also get into Egyptian texts because there is stuff in the Egyptian text. If you want to get into the Mayan and Aztec and also Hopi text, I am very willing to discuss that with you. I think it's very interesting, and I do not reject any material that brings knowledge to us. So, you know, even the Chinese text, if y'all want to discuss that, ask me questions, leave me comments, send me email. My email address is all lowercase. It's LLYNNJUNG@gmail.com. So you can send me email. I do respond to email. Unless you're a total complete nutcase, then I'm just gonna quickly read it and delete it. Yeah, because I'm getting a lot of really strange people. One email said they were extraterrestrial and they want to take me out to lunch. Sorry, I don't date extraterrestrials. But notice I'm laughing. I take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if you're a troll. I don't know if you're being silly. But it did make me laugh. And I hope it was your intention to make me laugh and you weren't really serious. But anyway, I do read the emails. I do respond to your questions, and I'll answer them as best I can. Um, but it depends on the question you're asking, and I would hope that you're genuine in your questions, because here on my channel, we're trying to keep it just science. We're just trying to keep it to the facts. We're trying to keep it to what the ancient Sumerians actually said about themselves instead of what other people make up about them. Um, so yeah, but we'll discuss Pre-Nubian, Sumerian, Egyptian, Mayan, Aztec, Hopi, and Chinese text if you want to. We'll get into that. Anything you want to discuss, we'll get into that. But until next time, y'all, I'm going to say goodbye. I got some stuff to do today, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.